talk about my FAI surgery. It's been 10 weeks since I had the surgery. I had it on January 24th. And there's just a ton of YouTube videos about the way the procedure goes, people show the procedure, things like that. And I thought I would talk about other things. So I have some notes in front of me, and I'm going to be looking down at those. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about is what I had. And I had a thing called a femoral acetabular impingement. And it kind of means that when your hip goes into the socket, it hits the socket. And mine kind of hit at the bottom, I think. And it does it over time, and then you get kind of like a knot on the femur, or you can get it on the socket, but mine was on the femur, and so that makes it worse. And over time you cut your labrum, which is a gasket that goes around the socket. So how did I do it? Well, that's the $1,000,000 question. I don't know. For about all of 2018, in the spring and during the summer when I played golf, my hips were kind of bothering me. They got better, then they got worse, and they got better. And I just thought I had bursitis. And I thought, well, I'll do more hip exercises. It'll feel better. I'd been doing a big hip exercise program at the Y. And then one day, well, I played golf Saturday and Sunday and walked and was fine. I was a little stiff after Sunday. Karen was out of town. I walked the dog down to the lake, and on the way home, going up the hill, I just thought I was going to die. It hurt so bad. But I don't think I heard it walking to the lake. I think it was already like that. I think it just got pinched or something. So I went to the doctor, my normal doctor for my physical, and they said, I don't think it's bursitis. You might want to see a surgeon, but if you want to try PT first, you can. So that's what I did. I went to this PT group I'd used before. They were awesome. They said your butt's pretty weak, blah, blah, blah. And we started working, and I thought I was getting a little better until they started ratcheting up the exercises, and the pain was like a level 10. They couldn't tell if it was my back, my hip, whatever. They brought in a specialist PT lady who said, it's not your back, it is your hip, you need to see a surgeon. And they recommended one. So I called, and I'm looking down at my notes again because I don't want to stray. I called, and I got right in. I got right into the surgeon, and the rest is history. So let's talk about some of the thoughts that I have. First thing I would recommend if you have to have this surgery is get as strong as you can beforehand, because during the recovery your good leg is going to do more and your bad leg is going to atrophy. So the stronger you can be before, the better. And I went to PT before. Some insurances will require that before you get this kind of surgery. And you could look at it as a negative, I wasted a couple of months, or you could look at it as positive, as I'm going to, which is I got stronger before the surgery, and they recommended the surgeon. I wouldn't have known who to go to. So the other thing my primary care physician said, the surgeon said, the PT people said is you need to lose a little weight. And I've lost 5 pounds of the 20 they've recommended, but getting this last 15 off has just been a struggle. I go up 2 pounds, down 2 pounds, up 2 pounds, down 2 pounds. So I probably lost the 20 pounds and stayed the same, going up and down. But that's one thing I still have to work on. The next thing is surgery. You can watch a million surgeries on YouTube, oh my gosh. And one of the things is most of the videos on YouTube show the surgeon anchoring the labrum. And when I got my surgery videos back from my doctor, it was like, wow, he didn't do that. And I asked him about it, and he said he does not anchor the labrum. He doesn't think it needs to be. You do if you have it in your shoulder, you need to anchor it. But hips are different, and he thinks it's better not to put an anchor, which is like a little thing you would put like in the wall, and then you tie the suture around the labrum and attach it so it's real tight to the cup, but he doesn't feel that's necessary and he just cuts out the tear. I don't know what's right or wrong. I'm not a surgeon and this isn't about what's right or wrong, but you might want to ask your doctor, do they anchor or not? I think if they anchor, the recovery period is a little harder. Just my opinion. I don't know if that's true. Also, make sure you talk to people about the surgeon. I didn't get a lot of second opinions and third opinions, but I know 2 people at work that use the same guy I did. They thought he was great. My PT recommended him, so that I would do that. My doctor did not sugarcoat the recovery, which by the way has been a lot of work. He said this is an easy surgery, you'll bounce right back, but to get back to where you want to be, because you're so damaged. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also had torn hamstring and tendonitis in my IT band, so I was a mess, and he said the recovery is going to be really tough. So that's something you might want to be aware of. The recovery is harder than the actual surgery. So how was the surgery? Well, you go into a day surgery place. I went in at 10 in the morning. My surgery was at noon. I was home at 4. I felt pretty good. They'd given me 2 Oxycontin. That's the only Oxycontin I took for the whole thing. Other than that, I took prescription Advil and a Tylenol every so often. So not a whole lot of pain with the surgery. But Karen had a rough first day because she had to go pick up all the prescriptions and she was at Costco forever. So that's the bad thing. So also you need to make sure that you have someone who can help you. I needed assistance for sure the first 2 days. You kind of learn in the crutches, you can't carry stuff so good, you're kind of not sure about yourself, someone needs to feed you, blah, blah, blah. So you've got to have some support system. So let's talk about making the decision. I was in so much pain and my quality of life had gone from biking, walking, playing golf, to no biking, no golfing, and walking was so painful. So for me, the decision was not that hard. The surgeon had said I can also cut your IT band to make it a little looser, and I decided not to do that. He also said for the torn hamstring, you could have a procedure called PRP, which is where they take your blood, spin it, and put it into the tear. I elected to have that done at surgery time, so that was pretty good. So anyway, I booked the surgery. I had gotten lucky. I got right into the surgeon. I got real lucky. I got right into the MRI so they could know for sure what was wrong. And I was able to make the appointment for the surgery about a month later. It takes a while to get all the stuff worked out with work. I was lucky I could be on short-term disability. I wanted to take 4 weeks off of work, and that's what I took off of work. I know some people who take 8. I know some people who take 5 days. I thought 4 weeks was a pretty good sweet spot. So anyway, from surgery for 2 weeks, all you're doing is using your crutches to kind of pull your leg along, and then I think I got rid of the crutches at like 4 or 5 days. But you got to act like you still have crutches. So no bending over, no squatting, no picking stuff up. Karen said I dropped so much stuff on the floor. I'm so sorry, Karen. But that's week 1 through 2. I mean, the first 2 weeks. You're just getting off your crutches, you're weight bearing, you're starting to take a shower, you are just kind of on the couch a lot. And I started reading the Harry Potter books. I didn't watch a lot of TV. So that's the first 2 weeks. Then at week 2, you go in, have the stitches removed. They kind of talk to you about stuff. One of the things they said is you could have days where the pain is as bad as before you had the surgery. And I've had a couple of those and they're scary, but not a whole lot. And really, I now only take regular Advil, and if the pain is like a level 2 or 3, I add a Tylenol. So the pain hasn't been bad. And they give you 2 stretches. One is a hip extension, and another is like a figure 4 for your hamstrings, and they slowly want you to get your gait back, so you start trying to walk normal. That's it from my surgeon from week 2 to week 6. So you're starting to walk a little more. They show you how to bend over and pick stuff up, which is just put your leg out behind you straight and kind of bend over like that at your waist with your leg out behind you. So Karen was happy I could start picking up stuff. You can do a few little household things, like you can load and unload the dishwasher, maybe make a sandwich, and you can start driving. So I did a few little errands. And then we had a major snowstorm, so I didn't go outside. I just did my exercises, read Harry Potter, and that was it for 2 weeks. So then at week 4, I went back to work, and I took it real easy at first, and I found it hard to keep shoes on all day, so I took a pair of slippers, and also my chair seemed so terribly, terribly hard. So I used, and I later told my surgeon about that, and he recommended a thing to sit on, and I bought one, and I'll show it to you later. So that's week 6. So then you go, I had an appointment at week 6, and you see the surgeon. They x-ray you, make sure everything looks good. He kind of checks what the stitches look like. He said, "Oh, they look so good." He talks to you about the surgery. He asks you if you watched it, and if you did, he goes over parts of it with you. And then he said, "Did you want to go to PT or do it by yourself?" I said, "I want PT." And then they have like a progression, regression way to get you stronger. So like one day you ride the bike, the recumbent bike, for 10 minutes, then the next day 5, then 15, then back to 10, then 20, on and on. But if you ever have pain, you got to go backwards. So I did the first progression on the recumbent bike up to where I could ride for 40 minutes without pain. And then the PT people said, "Don't use the recumbent bike anymore." And I'm on the next regression where you up the intensity. And that one's going a little slower. And I'm also walking, but it's flat. I'm not doing any hills yet. And the most I've walked is 2 or 3 times in one day to get up to about 8,000 steps. So not a lot of walking. Walking hurts me, by the way. It's harder than the biking or anything else. So that's something I'm slowly adding in. And Karen's out of town right now, so I'm walking the dog, so that's good. PT, what are they doing? Well, I'm going twice a week, and they're working on getting my butt stronger and teaching me how to use my butt and my core, because I don't got either one. So right now, the exercises take me an hour every day, and I've been religiously doing them. That's a big commitment. The exercises are boring. It's not anything exciting. It's not that fun. That's been a huge challenge to make yourself do it, as well as the stretches the doctor gave me. I've also made appointments with a massage therapist, and this is not a happy massage. It hurts. And they're working on my adductors, my hip flexors, and my IT band. And I'm sure the PT people will tell them other things to work on. So that's kind of what's going on now, and I've been in PT a month. So from week 6 to week 10, it's adding, every time I go to PT, they add something else. And we're adding massage. I'm doing my massage at home with a plunger. It's kind of like cupping. You push it onto your leg and then pull the plunger out, go up and down. So that's that. And so here are the big takeaways of the surgery so far. You have to be patient with yourself, with others, because this ain't going to get fixed right away. You have to go slow. I thought I would every day get better, but some days I regress, and you also can't just start walking 2 miles. You got to go slow. Do the work. Do it before, do it after. I think I have to do these exercises for the rest of my life. I don't want my other hip to have this problem. and I'm predisposed to it because it's a genetic way my femur goes into my socket. Know that some days the pain is going to be bad, or you'll have a different kind of pain, and this is the one I really struggle with. Is I freak out when I have pain. I think, oh shoot, I've hurt my hip, I've ruined the surgery. But then usually I wake up the next day and I'm fine. So that's something I'm really working on, not to worry about it. The next one is don't compare. Don't compare yourself to others, and don't compare your now self to your old self or your future self. We got a guy at work who had a total hip replacement. He is so far ahead of me with his recovery than I am, and that's something I keep comparing myself to, and I need to stop. It's really hard. So let me go back to my notes. Another one is don't overdo it. Some days you feel really good and you think, oh, I can do everything, and then the next day you pay for it. So don't overdo it. Don't get frustrated. I haven't really gotten frustrated that much, except like when it was snowing and everybody was out walking in it, I got a little frustrated. I get frustrated about, like, I wish I had done this, I should have done this, and I get frustrated that I haven't been able to lose weight. So don't get frustrated, and I try not to do that very much, but you know, we all have to work on stuff. Try to make your exercise fun. I have shifted it up. I do it in different orders. Some days I do it here at home. Some days I go to the gym. When I do it here, Izzy likes to play with me. That try to make it fun. And the other thing is, this has taught me to have empathy for others who have chronic pain or who are disabled. I tell you what, at first, when I first started walking, I couldn't cross the street fast enough. And I used to be mad at people like, oh my God, do-de-do across the street. Well, have a little empathy for them. They might be in pain, and that's as fast as they can walk. So that's something else I've learned. So anyway, that's my takeaway from 10 weeks out of surgery. And working on 2019, getting better. Bye!